Hello, I'm Beth Wagner, physical therapist. In this video, I'm going to review swayback posture. I'll cover what it is, some of the most common causes, and the best remedies. I'll include 4 exercises to address some of the common muscle imbalances that we see with swayback posture. First, what is swayback posture? I'll include an image here in the video to show you a classic textbook example of swayback posture. Typically, we see the hips are pushed forward and there is excessive curvature throughout the spine. Specifically, we see rounded mid-back, rounded shoulders, and forward head posture. There can be several reasons why any individual might develop swayback posture. One common cause is tall stature. Often when people are taller than everybody around them, they start to develop habits in order to feel or appear shorter. So they might jut their head forward or sort of lower their head, and they might round their shoulders forward. And this causes rounding of the mid-back and the hips moving forward in order to shorten their height. It can become the habitual way that that person stands. Another example is hypermobility. Excessive flexibility in the joints allows the use of the ligaments for postural control instead of the use of postural muscles. Another potential cause of developing swayback posture is growing up in a culture that fosters body self-consciousness, specifically cultural messages to minimize the appearance of normal development. So when children grow up in this environment, especially females, there is a tendency to want to hide the development of their buttocks by pulling their hips forward. They may also want to hide breast development by rounding their shoulders forward and jutting their head forward. This helps to provide a thinner profile that reduces the appearance of the chest and the buttocks. After the age of development, some individuals notice this trend and they're able to self-correct on their own. But for some individuals, this posture has become a habit. Now, what are the results that we typically see from this habitual swayback posture? It's common to experience pain in the neck, the shoulders, the back, and the hips. There might also be pain in the legs, specifically the knees and the ankles. We tend to see tightness in the hamstrings and glutes, and the pectoral muscles in the front of the chest, and the upper cervical spine, the upper part of the neck, just underneath the base of the skull. We also see overstretched muscles in the mid and upper back. Both tight and overstretched muscles might feel weak. Now, moving on to remedies, what do we do about swayback posture? First, we have more power than we think to change our bodies and to improve our health. Even if somebody has had swayback posture for years, oftentimes we're able to make adjustments to correct for the muscle and the joint imbalances that we see. First, I'll take you through a postural assessment and adjustment. This is a great time to experiment and play with your posture. This correction is not a one-time adjustment. This is more about feeling what's going on in your body, trying out some different adjustments, seeing if you can incorporate those adjustments into your daily routine. And then over the course of a few days, a few weeks, even months, see how you feel. Experiment with the adjustments and find out if you're able to maintain some of those adjustments for improved overall health, less pain, improved function, better strength, and better ability to enjoy your daily activities. Okay, let's get into the posture correction. Looking at my posture from the side, I'll do my best to mimic a swayback posture, and I'll also include a photo here in the video. Typically, we see the hips forward, the mid-back rounded, the shoulders rounded forward, and the head forward. So one thing you'll notice here is that if you look from the ankles to the hip, to the shoulders, to the ear, the hips are forward of that line, the mid-back sticks way out behind that line, the shoulders are typically in line with the ankles, and then the head is forward. So we have an excessive curvature, kind of an excessive S-curve with this posture. So what we want to try to do to begin playing with it, starting at the base, see if you can bring your hips back. You might also feel the top of your hips here and see if your pelvis feels level, not tipped down forward, not tipped down in the back, but neutral. Then lift the chest and try to relax the shoulder blades down and back. And then do a little bit of a chin tuck. Draw your chin straight back. If you're able to do this in front of a mirror so that you can see your profile in the mirror, that can be very helpful, especially a full-length mirror. And then look at where your ankles, your hips, your shoulders, and your ear line up. You could play with this and try to exaggerate it a little bit and just notice where the alignment is. And then once you feel that you've achieved as neutral alignment as you can, then close your eyes for a few moments and just notice what you feel. Do you feel any stretch discomfort? Do you feel any pain? Do you feel like your balance is too forward or too backward? Do you notice the left and the right feel the same or different? And this can be very helpful. Spend about 30 seconds to a minute with your eyes closed, just paying attention to what you feel and where. As you go through these exercises, session by session, week by week, it's good to touch base now and then with your posture. Double check yourself in the mirror, make those adjustments, and then note how you feel. And note if those feelings change from week to week. Okay, let's continue on with the exercises. Now I'll show you 4 exercises that can begin to restore the muscle imbalances that we find in swayback posture. The first one is a scapular and cervical retraction with bilateral shoulder external rotation. That's a lot of words. This is focused on adjusting the posture from the mid-back up. So the first step is to do your best to find neutral, natural alignment of your spine. Try and bring your hips back a little bit, lift your chest, and relax your shoulder blades down and back. Now see if you can pull your shoulder blades back even more. Try and squeeze your shoulder blades together in the back so they come closer together. This should open up your chest. And next, do a little bit of a chin tuck, drawing your head and your chin straight back. This should help bring your ears more in alignment over your shoulders. From this position, bring your arms up forward, bend your elbows, palms up toward the sky. And now bring your hands out to the side, continuing to squeeze your shoulder blades together in the back. Opening up your chest, your shoulders should be moving out and behind you. Keep your elbows relaxed, close to your sides. Keep your palms up. And then slowly come back to the starting position. Try to maintain at least a little bit of the chin tuck and the shoulder blade squeeze, even when you come back to the starting position. And again, squeeze the blades even more and bring your hands out to the side. Pause here and come back to the starting position. Be sure to keep your abs engaged and your glutes. You want to feel strong and sturdy in the standing position. Bring your palms up, elbows bent by your side. Squeeze the shoulder blades and bring your hands out to the side. Pause and then return to the starting position. Continue for 20 repetitions, or as many as you can do to start with. Squeeze your blades, bring your hands out to the side, pause, and come back to the center. Move at the pace that feels comfortable for you. If you need to move a little faster or slower than my speed, that's just fine. Move at your own speed. Try to match your breath with the movement by exhaling when you bring your arms out to the side, inhaling when you come back to the center. Exhale, squeeze your blades, move your arms out to the side, pause. Inhale, come back to the center. Keep your chin tucked. Exhale, hands out to the side. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, hands out to the side. And inhale, come back to the center. Be sure to keep your abs and your glutes engaged for a strong core. Exhale, arms out to the side. And inhale, come back to the center. If you need to take a break at any time, that's just fine. You can pause this video, shake out your arms, take a few deep breaths. Come back and join me when you're ready. You can always fast forward to the next exercise as well. As you do these exercises day by day, week by week, you'll likely find you're able to do more repetitions. You'll feel more comfortable. Your body will become used to this motion. Exhale, out to the side. Inhale, come back to the center. After 20 repetitions, rest. Shake out your arms if you need to. Do a little shoulder roll. Move your head. Take a few deep breaths. And then we'll move on to the next 3 exercises. You could try doing these on your bed if your bed is very firm. Otherwise, I suggest doing them on the ground on a cushioned surface. You could try using a yoga mat or several layers of towels for additional cushion. The next exercise is cat-cow, with emphasis on the cow. We'll do this exercise on our hands and knees. Start with your hands about shoulder distance apart, directly under your shoulders, and your knees about hips distance apart, directly under your hips. And now we'll go into the cat part of the posture. So pull your belly button in and up, rounding the lower part of your spine, and lower your head. And then begin to start coming up. And continue to arch your back. Then stick your hips up in the air, let your belly sag, and lift your head. Pause here, and then slowly lower. The first few repetitions especially, move with slow, controlled motion. And then slowly start to come back up to the starting position. And now keep going into cow position, arching your entire spine, lifting your hips up toward the ceiling, and lifting your head. Pause at the top, and then slowly come back to the neutral midline position, and keep going into cat. Move with slow and controlled motion. Only go as far as you feel comfortable. And then start to return. And continue up into cow with your back arched, pelvis lifted, head lifted. Pause, and then come back to the starting position. Try matching your breath by exhaling down into cat. And then inhale up into cow position. Let your belly fill with air. And then exhale, empty your belly as you press your low back up to the ceiling. Let your head lower. Tuck your pelvis under. Inhale, filling your belly, letting it sag, letting your back arch, looking up, and pause. Exhale as you lower. Lower your head, round your back. Inhale, lift your hips and your head up, let your back arch. And continue with slow, smooth motion. If my pace feels too fast or too slow for you, that's fine. Choose your pace. Do as many as you feel comfortable with. You can always pause the video or fast forward the video so that it matches your speed. Continue exhaling as you round your back, lower your head. Inhale as you let your belly sag, the low back arches, lift your head. After 20 repetitions, then rest. Then rest back on your heels. Shake out your hands. Take a little break to walk around if you need to. And now we'll move on to bird dog. We'll go back to the hands and knees position. Your hands underneath your shoulders, about shoulder distance apart. Knees under your hips, about hips distance apart. From here, try to find a position that feels like neutral spine. In other words, right in between the cow and cat that you just completed. Engage your abdominals for a strong, stable core. I'll show you this exercise in steps. The first step is to lift one arm up forward as if you're reaching to the wall in front of you, thumb up. And then bring that hand down. And now lift the other arm up straight in front of you, thumb up, and bring that hand down. Now we'll switch to the legs. Reach one leg up, pointing to the wall behind you, keeping your back and your pelvis in line. So this isn't lifting up and arching toward the ceiling like that. This is reaching straight behind you, toward the wall. Right behind you, not toward the ceiling. And then bringing that leg back into the starting position. Shift your weight and extend the other leg out. So you're reaching with your toes to the wall behind you. Activate your glutes for strong hips. And then bring your knee back in. If that was challenging for you, continue the repetitions, moving one arm at a time and then one leg at a time. If you're ready to move on to the next progression, we'll be moving the opposite arm and leg at the same time. So I'll start with the right arm and the left leg. Keep your abs and glutes engaged, and we'll lift the right arm up and the left leg up, reaching with your hand to the wall in front of you, reaching with your toes to the wall behind you. Pause, and then come back to the starting position. Now switch sides. Left arm and right leg up, reaching to the walls. Pause, and come back down. Continue. Right arm, left leg, up, pause, and lower. Move with slow, controlled motion. Just go as far as you feel comfortable. You shouldn't feel any pain with this. Stretch discomfort, muscle fatigue, that would be normal. You shouldn't feel any joint pain or numbness and tingling. If you do, stop. Take a break, reset your posture, see if you can continue. And if not, then stop this exercise. Move on to the next one. Continue for 20 repetitions, 10 repetitions on each side. Or if you're doing the first variation with your arms and legs separately, then do 5 repetitions on each arm and 5 repetitions with each leg. The breathing pattern here doesn't matter so much because we're not compressing the abdomen. You can exhale whenever it feels natural to you and inhale whenever it feels good. Now I'll show you how to add the foam roller for some biofeedback to help you maintain neutral alignment of your spine. Bring your foam roller up behind you, right along your spine. And then see if you can maintain balance with the foam roller right along your spine. Now try and keep the foam roller in place as you lift opposite arm and leg. And then bring it down to the starting position and switch. And this may take some practice to get used to. Adding the foam roller to the exercise is a great way to increase the level of difficulty and the challenge. Play with it. It often takes quite a bit of practice to be able to keep the foam roller balanced. Don't let that discourage you. Think of it like extra credit with this exercise. For the dead bug, if you have your foam roller handy, then we'll lie down on it with your hips on one end and your head on the other end. If you don't have a foam roller, that's just fine. You can do this lying on the ground. You could also try rolling up a towel lengthwise to give you a little bit of feedback along the length of your spine. Lie on your back on the foam roller with your pelvis supported on one end and your head supported on the other. So the foam roller should be going right between your shoulder blades along the length of your spine. Bend your knees nice and wide, feet flat on the ground for balance support. Now the first step here is to just let yourself relax into the foam roller. See if this feels comfortable for you or if there's a bit of stretch discomfort, any aches or pains. If you feel any sharp shooting pain, or any numbness and tingling, then stop. Now to begin the dead bug, we'll lift one arm up in the air and then bring it back down. Then lift the other arm in the air and bring it back down. When your arms are down, it's just fine to have them on the surface for balance. Then we'll bring one leg up, lower, and the other leg up and lower. Try to keep your spinal alignment on the foam roller. Now, if that was challenging enough for you, continue the repetitions moving one arm at a time and one leg at a time. If you're able, let's now move the opposite arm and leg up and then lower. So left arm, right leg up and lower. Right arm, left leg up and lower. Left arm, right leg up and lower. Continue for 20 repetitions, 10 repetitions on each side. If you're doing the variation with one arm at a time and then one leg at a time, do 5 repetitions on each arm and leg. Notice the engagement of your abdominals. Try to keep your neck and your shoulder muscles relaxed. With this one, try matching your breathing by exhaling when you lift the arm and leg, and then inhale as you lower. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Because there is some compression of the trunk when we lift the leg, we want to exhale while we lift. Anytime your trunk is being compressed during an exercise, that's the time you want to exhale. After 20 repetitions, rest. Take a few deep breaths. Shake out your arms. Shake out your legs a little if you need to. I suggest performing these exercises 1 time a day and 2 to 3 days a week. If that feels comfortable for you and you want to do more, you could increase to daily performance of all of the exercises. It's normal to feel some stretch discomfort, some muscle fatigue or muscle soreness. And that typically goes away after you do several sessions of the exercises. You shouldn't feel any sharp shooting, stabbing pain or any joint pain. You also shouldn't feel any numbness or tingling. If you do, stop the exercise. Rest, reset your posture, try it again, not going as far into the movement. See if that feels better for you. If you still have those symptoms, then stop. The exercise isn't the best for you, or it's not the right time for you to begin that exercise. I hope these exercises are helpful for you. You might also benefit from some of my other exercises for neck, shoulder, back, and hip stretching and strengthening. Click the links in the description below to check out some of those other videos. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Here's to your healing, health, and happiness. Have a wonderful day.